Hi guys, and welcome to the backyard. And we're gonna learn how to build a retaining wall today. But at first, we need to know why. So we're gonna kind of investigate a little bit. I'm gonna take you with me. I want you to see what's going on back here. Uh, you can look at your trees. Some of you guys might have trees in your backyard, all around the property. Uh, and it might be on a slope. In this case, we got a pretty good elevated slope here on the backyard. And as you can see, you look around this tree right here, you'll see lots of gaps, lots of holes. You see the roots coming out? Well, all this is doing is running down the slope and into the yard. So what we're going to try to do today, not what we're going to try to do, what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to build a retaining wall. So this should be kind of neat. I'm going to put you up here on the fence for a minute. And the first thing I want to talk about is, why do we build one? Well, the root system, erosion. So what does that cause? Well, that causes your roots to get exposed or become exposed. When they become exposed, then your tree risks disease, it risks not getting nutrients, and it can die. So what we want to do is save our trees. So we need to make sure we kind of build something or make it so that the dirt doesn't pour out away from the tree, that stays on the tree. So there's several different phases here that we're going to go through, and we basically want to fix our erosion problem. So the first thing we want to look at is in building a retaining wall, we want to have a good plan. Now I've drawn out a plan, and I'm not going to go into detail about that, but you can pretty much just eyeball a retaining wall. You can look at it, you can kind of see the slope and how to dig into it and level up the ground, etc., so forth, to kind of understand how to do it. But I'm going to walk you through it. So step one is safety. Safety. Safety glasses are a must. You always want to wear safety glasses when you're working outside, you're doing any kind of work. It's important to make sure those precious eyes of yours are protected. So we want to keep that. Just keep our eyes, be protected. I like to wear a hat. Usually the sun's beaming down on me. I like to protect, because kind of bald, so the hat really helps me a lot that way. Outside of that, as far as protection goes, gloves are a good thing. So I really like gloves. Gloves can do a lot to keep your hands from getting scarred up, scratched up, and blistered. So we want to wear gloves when we can. The first thing I want to do is go over the tools that we're going to need for this retaining wall, and I'm just going to show you real quick and put them back down and be fast about it. And one of the first tools that we really need is a beautiful shovel. Now, if you have a shovel, it's easier to do a retaining wall with a square end shovel, but if you have a shovel, you're going to need a shovel. You're going to have to do a little bit of digging. Not much, but a little bit. So you got a shovel. Levels. So I got two levels. It's important that we get the ground level when we're doing a retaining wall. That's pretty important. All right, so level helps with that. Nice. Now hose. I like the hose. This is a larger scale hoe. This allows me to really sculpt the dirt on a bigger level, moving the dirt and getting a lot of that dirt out of the way so I can level up the ground easier. And we're going to go over how all this is done. I'm just going over tools. This is not needed, but it's a fun tool. It's a little rake. You get in the little crevices and little places that you need to actually remove some debris and stuff, clean up your area. Clippers are good, but these can be very dangerous, right? So you got a blade up here, and it's a cutting tool. Some of the roots grow out beyond where they need to grow, and we have to trim those back to level up the ground. So a pair of good tree snips or clippers are really handy to have around for this job. For the really deep stuff, like when you want to go in really deep and you got to get down there and you really got to get something out, a good pickaxe. You necessarily don't. You can get by just basically using a shovel and a good hoe, and it'd be fine. But a pickaxe is just a little extra add-in. A good solid steel rake. Now that's nice. A good solid steel rake. You want to have one of these around, and you'll find out a little bit later what this is used for. But this is good for spreading topsoil and the bark or pine needles or whatever surface you're going to put down when you're finished. Also, we have a hammer. Now this is a steelhead hammer. It's really weighted, but it's better to use like a rubber mallet. But you can use this by putting a board down, giving it a little tap. across the board. It handles not cracking the brick and that kind of stuff. This right here, this is my favorite tool. It's a mini hoe, hand hoe, and or rake, or whatever you want to call it. But this does a really good job at sculpting the ground and getting it level to where you can actually install the brick. All right, so moving on from that, I want to take a look at other necessary items that we need to have around, and because we're getting ready to start this project, right? So we're gonna kick it up a notch here in a sec. But one thing that we definitely want to have around, and in this case, we want to have pine bark. This is we're using pine bark on this yard, inexpensive, but it does a really good job covering. And I'll explain why we want to use cover towards the end of it. The other thing we want to use is a topsoil, something to get nutrition back into into and around the tree. So that's kind of important. All right, so we're gonna get started. So I'm gonna take you with me. We're gonna take our little hoe here thing. Oh, one other thing we really need to think about is when we're working, it's good to wear gloves. We talked about that already. Good safety glasses, that's good. But what we also got to be leery of or pay attention to is when we're digging and we're moving surfaces, especially around your house, you want to pay attention and make sure that you don't get bit. Bit by what? Snakes. Snakes can be they can be cruel. Now that's just a little baby snake there. He didn't make it, no, but his brother did. So his brother's still running around somewhere. But it's important that we don't get bit by a snake. So gloves help with that, and just really paying attention to your surroundings when you're doing this work. All right, so I'm gonna grab a level. I kind of got some things started already, so it'll be really quick, really fast. This is going to be like some magic stuff I'm getting ready to do. But the first thing we want to look at is we can see that we got to level up the ground. So in leveling up the ground, I've kind of already done that a little bit. I've already leveled this up right here, and so it's ready to install. And what I'm talking about installing is the bricks itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you down for just a second, and you're going to watch. I'm going to put the bricks in the hole here, and then we're going to check to measure. First, I want to get on my gloves because I don't want to scrape my hands up, right? So the first brick I'm coming with, and these bricks are called pavers. All right. Now I've set this stone in here pretty good. All right. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to check in a minute. We're going to make sure that we got it pretty good because we want to check level. If it's not level with the ground, then your retaining wall will come down. So very important that you level up everything. Take another brick here, put it in the hole. All right, very good. I'm going to come back and I'm going to put another brick in the hole. All right, so I got a pretty good balance going across through here. What I want to do is I want to come across and want to check level. All right, and so as we're checking level, might have to do a little bit of tap. This is where I come in with the brick or with the hammer and whatnot, and that you can see right here, that little bubble right there is dead in the middle. All right, and that's what we want for level. We're going to check every stone that we do, and we're going to make sure we got level in that stone. We're also going to check this stone. Now, I'm not going to get too detailed in here, but I also want to check this stone, and we need probably a little tap on this side. Yep, a little tap there. Come in, try to get my stone pretty much. Uh-oh, it's a little off. We're close. Well, I'll make do with it. All right, so that's how that's done. The next layer of stone that goes on, all right, is we're going to turn around and we're going to throw on another brick. And I'll just kind of go over this a little bit. I got a little seam. We're matching corner to corner. And what we're going to do is we're going to center the middle of this paver with the middle of this line right here. That line right there, we're going to line it up right in there. It's going to sit right in there nice and pretty. And it's going to give us a good look. All right. So, get that. Come in with another stone. And you pull forward a little bit, and that locks your stone in pretty good. All right. So you end up getting it right now. It looks like a two-tiered wall, but we're working a little bit higher up. But you can see how easy that was just to pick up the stone and put it in. If you look at the stone here, the stone has a little lip. This little lip sets right over the back edge of this, and locks in here pretty good. So with gravity and over time, the dirt will run down and other debris will run down, etc. And then what you'll have is all that build up against the stone and push against the stone, so that the stone will get more and more solid, more concrete. All right, so in doing all that, I'm gonna have to say, just take a second here, gather my senses a little bit, and boom, there we go, done. Look at that. That's a 3-tier wall. How magical is that? I built that thing quick, right? 3-tier wall. It's bam, it's done, right? All right. You kind of like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But you'll see that in a minute. I gotta get some raking going. All right. So I'm gonna get a little raking going. I'm gonna get that topsoil out. Boom. I'm gonna get the pine bark out. Boom. And we're gonna spread a little bit. So let me do a magic abracadabra kind of thing. I gotta breathe because and then you gotta use some hocus pocus kind of boom stuff, and then bam, there we go. Look at it, look at that. Ooh, look, a little raking going on. We're moving the bark around. I got the topsoil underneath the tree there. It's all nice and pretty. Got my rake working, and there's your end result right there. How about building a retaining wall 101? Done. See you on the next video.